Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced, and I'm going to go over more stuff in PHP. So first thing I'll do is talk about how you define constant variables. So any variable with a dollar sign is reassignable. So let's say when they create something that's a constant value, you actually have to define it, like so. You would define, then you would put the name of the variable, so we'll put the name Alex's, and usually you do it in all capitals, Alex's age, and then you would put the value, and there you go. So now this variable is available in the code. So I can be like, so let's just take this loop we created last time, and instead of saying max loops is Alex's age. Okay, and there we go. And see, I don't have a dollar sign because it's a constant, so I can use it without a dollar sign. So let's test that out. I should get 34 loops. See, there you go. Because now Alex's age, that constant, is worth 34. So this is how you define constants. Neat. Other things to learn is now, big thing always is arrays. Okay. Now arrays. Let's see here. So first to say, hey, if using PHP older than 5.4. So 5.4 is really when kind of PHP kind of became much nicer and fixed a lot of its weird quirks that people started kind of caused people to move away from it. In 7.4 we added all sorts of really cool stuff like arrow functions, but PHP or older, then you have to create an array like this. So we'll say my array 1 equals, and then you would use like this function array 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and now if you want this, now when you want to dump a collection of data, so not just one piece of data, echo is probably not going to be as helpful anymore. So what you're going to want to use instead is var dump, and then you can var dump your my array 1. Okay, now if using PHP 5.4 or greater, again, the reason why this is useful because when you're using different web hosts, you might not know which version of PHP they're using. A lot of web hosts are using older PHP, unfortunately. So always good to kind of figure out what it is that you're working with, so you know what syntax you can use. Like if you're using PHP 7.4 on a server that you set up, or on a Docker image that you set up, or on a virtual machine you set up, that's going to be great because you're going to have access to all sorts of powerful tools. But if you're using many of these sort of standard, you probably will have 5.4 or higher, but it's good to check. There are probably still a handful of servers out there that might be running like 3 point something. Yeah, so just keep that in mind. Okay, so if you're using 5.4 or greater, you can do an array like this. My R2 equals, and if you've used JavaScript, this looks very familiar. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then var dump. Oh, semicolon. Var dump, and we can dump my R2. Okay, and I'm going to get rid of all this stuff here. We don't need this anymore. Okay, back to the terminal. So run that code. Okay, and then this is essentially what it prints out. So you see here, here's the first array. And see, basically every array is an associative array, except that when you just put in the numbers, it just gives you a numerical index as the key. So the zero key, or zero index gives you the first value, etc. So it works like a normal array, except that in other languages, when it comes to key value pairs, you have a separate type of thing you can use, a separate like objects in JavaScript, or maps in Go, or hashes in Ruby, or dictionaries in Python. There's that sort of construct. Here it's all arrays. Okay, so I can do this. I can like echo my R2 to, so I'm only echoing sort of the let's see here, which would be this item here, 3. Okay, so we can do that just like a traditional array in any language. where's that 3 go coming in? Oh, it's probably at the top, isn't it? No, it didn't show up at all. 4K. Let's put some quotation marks around it. Maybe that's what I need to do. There we go. Oh, there it is. It's just right at the end. Okay. Cool. Now, what if we want to do key value pairs? Okay. You would just create an array. So we'll just call, and this is, they're referred to as associative arrays. So my array equals, or we'll just say Alex equals, we create an array and then we put in a key. So we'll say name, and then use an arrow equals Alex Merced, then a comma. This is very similar to hashes in Ruby. And then we put in another key, which is going to be age, then another arrow, and then this will be 34. Okay, and now if I want to, I can echo, and then what I'll do is I'll put a new line. Okay, and we will use Alex's name is age, Alex age, and then another new line character. And something doesn't like something about that. Alex equals. So we just don't need to put in the quotation marks. Oh, semicolon. What is it not like? Echo. Oh, I see. I should probably use these here. Oh, there we go. I think. Yep, there we go. Well, you don't need the quotation marks there. You can just put in the age. Let's just double check that all works. Yep, Alex Merced is age 34. Good. Okay, so you don't need to put the quotation marks around the keys here. When you're doing like 4 languages in a few days, you forget when you're putting the quotation marks in the brackets and when you aren't, but it is what it is. Okay, so that's kind of how you can work with those arrays. So if you want to hold a variety of data with named keys, you do it this way, and if not, you want indexes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 the other way. And again, if you want to just dump the entire data so you can see what it is, it's var dumps the function you're looking for. The only other thing I want to mention is references. So if I create this variable here, Alex equals Alex, I could do this. Now if I do Alex2 equals Alex, it's going to assign the variable by value, which means Alex2 is a copy, not a reference to the same variable. So if I change Alex2, so just to illustrate the point, I'm going to make Alex2 equal Merced. Okay, and then I echo. Okay, always with the semicolons. Okay, if I echo Alex dot space dot Alex2, I should end up with Alex Merced. Yep, and so you see Alex Merced right over here. Okay, because I was able to change 2. But now if I do this, if I put the ampersand right in front of Alex here, what it does is that it copies a reference. So Alex2 is not actually a copy of the data, it's a reference to the same data. So they're both referring to the same instance of this string. So then when I change it, it should change both. So now I'm going to end up with like Merced. So yeah, there you go, Merced. So just keep in mind, you know, sometimes you might want to pass a reference versus a value, mainly if you want to pass in a variable that that mutates the thing on the outside. You know, you might run into that situation. I can think of a few situations, particularly with functions, but I'm not going to get into it yet. Cool. So that is that. So we learned about constants, we learned about arrays, and we learned about var_dump, and we learned about passing variables by reference. So I'll see you guys in the next video.